Presents. We have two fun guests today. We've got Justin and Sheela Simmons of the Realty
One Group.
Realty One Group.
Yep.
Of course,
Simmons Home Group. Yep. Simmons Home Group is our team name.
Yeah.
But we're our broker Realty One. So yeah.
Good. Well, thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having us.
This
is awesome. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to talk a little bit about. Before we started, you were talking a little bit about how you got into the real estate. You've been in it for a long time. Tell us a little bit about that, Justin.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been in real estate for a little over 18 years now, probably close to 19 at this point, and kind of done a little bit of everything. Started doing home equity loans and lines of credit back in 2006, and jokingly said I was part of the reason that the market crashed. So giving everybody tons of equity on false appraisals and values, and then jumped into real estate, working primarily as like a buyer's assistant. So I did a lot of showings and open houses and things like that throughout the prime time. And then when the market kind of crashed, I transitioned into doing short sales, just like most people, and had a lot of fun dealing with banks and trying to get help people out that were drastically upside down in their house. And then since then, just been it's my wife. We've opened up. We have a team that we kind of manage and help mentor, and
it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a wild ride. Yes. Yeah.
So Sheela, how did you get into this?
So when I bought my first home, it was an REO, and at that time, when you didn't close on time, which it still happens here and there, but when you didn't close on time, you had to pay a per diem or whatever to the bank, which seemed crazy to me because they were the ones winning in the scenario.
Right.
But and it was kind of a mess of a situation. So it made me kind of think, how could this be done better, and what could I learn from it? And I was young at the time. So went to real estate school, decided to do it. When I was in real estate school, a guy came in, introduced that he had a team and that he could set you up and help you get started. So I joined that team, and
I was the mentor.
You were on the team too.
I was one of the mentors.
Was the teacher.
Yeah, I was one of the teachers.
I cut him off in the parking lot and got out of my car thinking I was hot stuff, and I was the first of the class with my brand new pen and paper and all the things. And then, big building, what are the odds? The guy that was, an a-hole in the parking lot was going to be the teacher, and then there he was. So
there he was.
She sat like right here, so I could feel her eyes, like sitting at the head. The entire time she's like, "Look, she's trying to teach this class about open houses, actually." And and
she's going, "Man, that guy is attractive."
I guess I don't know what she saw, but I mean, it was definitely a few years ago, a few pounds.
It's funny how things kind of all come together.
Yeah.
And it's worked. And you guys have been a team since. And how do you guys work together as a team?
It's funny. We just had a lunch with another realtor that his wife is starting to get into it, and they're like, "How do you guys do it?" And I don't know that we know how not to do it. I mean, it was really, you stay in your lane, you turn it off. We have a young son that's 5, so when it's past 7 o'clock, that is it. We don't talk about it anymore until probably 11 o'clock when we're talking about our day of what's happening the next day. But otherwise, you leave it. You just walk away from it, I think, is really what we've had to learn how to do, because it was our whole life for a while.
Yeah. Do you guys do a lot together, or do you guys kind of divide and conquer on what you guys do?
We did a lot together for a long time.
Yeah.
For many a days, we would drive around out in appointments. She'd be sitting in the passenger seat working on the computer while I'm driving to the next showing or heading to the
and I'm writing offers, and people are getting them before we're getting to the next house.
A couple of years ago when the market was crazy, we literally writing offers as we're driving around in the car, like trying to get an offer in before the 50 other people that were waiting outside got in to see the property. So now with she has her own little small business, which I'm sure she'll talk about a little bit later on, but so she's got some of that focus, and we do have a transaction coordinator and things now that kind of have alleviated some of the paperwork aspect for her to deal with. So in a way, it's kind of nice. There's still balance, but anytime we,
the big stuff, we still do together.
A lot of our business is is referral based. It's our sphere of influence. And so people kind of expect to see both of us, you know, it just kind of happens. I mean, you know,
or
it's
they know one of
us, you know, so we kind of at least show up to the first appointments together. And then, you know, from there we can kind of figure out who's taking it, who's running the, you know, kind of scenarios. So balance, you know, it's balance, but it's just, you know, I think we've, like you said, we've done it for so long that it just kind of becomes like a natural thing, you know.
I don't think we know how not to work together in that way.
And we've always been very like cohesive, you know. I mean, it just, she knows my strengths. I know hers. She knows where I can't stand doing things, and continues to push me to do them.
You can fill in the blanks.
Yes.
Guilty as charged.
You know, she's definitely that little like, you know, loves to give me the drive. But my name is Justin, and it's for a reason. I do everything just in time, and I'm sadly a perfectionist at doing it, so it makes it even worse because I'm the last minute, like, I got to get this done, and it has to be perfect.
And I'm like the list. I have a list, and I just need to check the list off.
So he needs you.
Yeah, absolutely.
He hates it sometimes, but balance.
I know how that goes. I'm kind of more like Justin. It's like, okay, the list. And, but that is what a team is for, right? It's working together and making sure that the client's happy and all that.
Absolutely.
So being in this for 19 years, you've got a lot of wisdom, right? You've seen a lot of changes. You've seen the market come and go up and down. You're now also involved on the Las Vegas Board of Realtors, correct?
Yeah, I'm on the MLS Quality Control.
MLS Quality Control. So with all the changes in the real estate industry, with the big lawsuit that occurred with NAR and all that kind of stuff, can you take us a little behind the scenes, what's going on the local level?
Yeah, you know, our board has had a lot of pressure on them to try to get things right. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. I feel like, you know, from other agents that are in the business and things. We were tasked with trying to come up with a solution to a problem that no one had ever seen. And we followed suit of some of the largest MLS boards in the country, California, Texas, Oregon, Washington, like Virginia, and even they didn't have it right. So, I mean, they had things in their paperwork and forms that they had created that weren't technically sanctioned by the quote unquote lawsuit, or at least the proposed settlement. And so we still don't, I mean, honestly, the settlement's still not even ratified, you know what I mean? So we're all kind of going off of this information in hopes that what we've presented is what's going to get approved ahead of the game. And so I think our board has done a really good job in trying to diffuse the situation. There was a ton of misinformation out there, like I said, just even about how the processes were going to work and what things we were going to allow to post about in the MLS, and create the most creative ways that you could come up to try to show a commission or a co-op or whatever to the opposing side, because everybody was like, how are we going to, what are we going to do? And I think now that it's kind of settled into place, the dust has settled. I mean, the reality is most things haven't changed. I mean, my phone isn't blowing up every day with agents calling me going, are you offering a co-op, or like they're just going about it.
So describe in a nutshell what the NAR lawsuit was and how it impacted the real estate agents and the consumer.
Sure. I mean, in a quick nutshell, there was a group of sellers that got together in Missouri that the same attorneys that fought Big Tobacco years ago, they went to them. So they were, they were heavy hitters.
It's always attorneys.
Every
time.
And
there's a little thing that you got to find wrong.
I don't know the exact number of sellers, but the lawsuit was originally was $1.2 billion. I believe we've settled for somewhere around $416 million is the proposed amount, somewhere in that ballpark. Again, it's a lot, still a lot of money.
The
crazy thing about it, and this is the worst part about it, about the sellers will receive somewhere around, I think, $12 is what I told you.
It's
Yeah,
under
somewhere
$50, I think.
it's under
I think
it's under $50. The sellers of this lawsuit will receive that. The attorneys, on the other hand, are making somewhere in the neighborhood of $122 million that fought this. So, hey,
it's
pays
never
to
really
play.
for
never fair.
Never
no,
really
and
fair.
it's never
And it's
for
just they're
that person,
trying
the
to
people
find-
that it happened to.
But the main drive behind that, real quick, just it was that they felt that we were not being transparent in the way that we were presenting commissions and to sellers. Agents were coming in and they were saying, advertising, hey, I'll do it for X number of apples, or I'll do it for this flat fee. And and then what they weren't telling sellers is that there's still a fee that was being offered out to the other side. Mm-hmm. And so sellers kind of got to this realization of like, well, why should I pay for an agent? Or, these people are coming in competing against me. They're trying to get my house for the lowest amount to represent their client. Why am I paying them to do that?
Right.
And it's, in a way, it makes sense, but for 40 something, 60 something years, it's basically what it's been done as, and in a way, when we factor in a property or when we're looking at comparables and we're taking all those things into consideration to price the home, those, fees are associated in what we're offering out, and so I think a lot of people were kind of like, well, how are you going to comp this property now? And how are you going to come up with the values? And like I said, the reality is for the most part, things haven't really changed. In fact, it's made things, I feel like what we needed to go back to was having conversations, talking to other agents, communication. And being more, involved in a transaction. And so far, I don't really have too much.
I think it's communication too between agents, not just even between you and your client. I think that a lot of that got lost, but I think picking up the phone and having to say, hey, are you cooperating? What is this? Nothing bad is going to come of that. Yeah. You're going to learn more about the property. You're going to be able to ask the questions that, don't be timid about it. That's your job is to advocate for that client, right, and, help them purchase a home. So I don't think there was a ton of fear behind it and a ton of like, what's going to happen? The sky is falling. Well, it's still up there, so we're fine.
There's a lot of dollars that go to the attorneys, but a lot has not changed.
No.
A little bit more transparency to the buyer, to the seller.
And it's still being worked out. There's still, you're always going to have a bad apple that's going to make it not, the way that it was intended to be. But I think for the most part, on a wide scale, I don't think it changes a ton.
Yeah, no. I think
business as usual.
Business as usual, exactly. And you're
going a couple more phone calls.
Yeah, you adapt, right? That's why you got into real estate, because you clearly like to change constantly.
Yeah.
So Sheela, you're a fun person. You're funny, fun. You have you just have this great personality. What is the best part of your job? Why do you like real estate so much?
I think it's the change. I think that, I was in the hospitality industry for a while, and it's the minutia of every day, the same thing. And you have, different people coming in and out of a hotel or a restaurant, but with real estate, it's like you get to become best friends with somebody for 30 to 60 days, and then you keep them obviously in a loop. But I think that that's at least what our business is based off of, is we are relationship people. We try to grow that relationship and be the first person that you call for anything when something goes awry in your home. And I think that's I think that's why I like doing
something different. It's
changing.
It's
the change. It's different personalities. It's fun. There's times in the middle of summer when you're showing houses and the asphalt is burning through your sandals.
You call Justin and say, Justin, can you go show the house?
Exactly. That's what he's there for.
That's what he's there for, right?
But I think I like the change. I think that real estate, I chose it because my kid is my first priority. That's what everybody, no matter what, I was going to make my own schedule. I was going to make sure that if it was, parent picnic, like it was last Friday at school, we were going to be there. That's what was important to us. And also to be able to have a job that was rewarding. Right. There is no better feeling, truly, then no matter how easy or hard the deal was at the end of the day, to hand someone a set of keys that then they get to go make beautiful memories in. I mean, our home is our sanctuary. It's our, my safe place. I love our house. So that's really, I think it's a really big gift to give someone to help. And to know that we take a lot of pride in to say that no matter what, our intention's always good and we're always trying to help them and do it correctly. Like there is so much misinformation and things get lost in a shuffle during, certain transactions, certain agents, it's really, really important because for a lot of people, it's the biggest purchase they'll make in their entire life.
And you guys have a hard job. I mean, a lot of the perception of realtors is like, oh,
I say I make my own schedule, but I work on vacation too.
But you're out in the heat, you're going to lock boxes, you're checking out water heaters and problems and issues. But one of the big things I think is being a connector, right?
Yeah.
And having the experience that you guys have. You guys must know all sorts of people to help other people get.
And it's constantly growing.
Right?
We're constantly finding other connections because I don't want to just send you one person. I want to send you multiple people so that then you can make the decision of, who you mesh with. Not everybody likes everybody, and that's okay. But there is a lot. I never thought that I'd be trying to figure out how to work a fireplace that I'd never seen before. Or
how do you like that darn thing?
Well,
right?
He's had some he's
multiple
saved inspections over these
saved deals
things.
from them collapsing
because we've
because
learned. So
it also helps though because we've had firsthand experience with a lot of those. We have flipped homes and things in the past, and so we have some experience with that. So we've kind of learned trial by error, like in our own, because the last thing I want is to send somebody that I don't even trust to your house for you to have this work done to your home and have it become a fiasco.
We take a lot of pride in our contractors.
We all know how the contractors work on Facebook or whatever the marketplace. But we've been lucky enough to find some really awesome
and done a lot ourselves.
I
mean, we just bought a condo in Boulder City, and I did the backsplash.
Okay.
I will never be doing that again. It was a labor of love for sure. But I mean, I did it.
Well, good. Well, last words for 2025 prediction. Would love to hear what your thoughts are for next year, because we're seeing right now where a lot of people are like hitting the pause button a little bit. They're concerned about the interest rates a little bit. They're concerned about the election, the
elections
economy.
make people nervous. That's what I tell everybody.
It's just making people nervous. Then, of course, we're going into December with all the holidays. You got November, December holidays.
But then
so
it's
2025.
And then it's like everybody's like, I'm ready to go.
So let's, I'm going to go with you first.
Okay.
And then we'll go with Sheela.
Perfect. So I like you just touched on, I think that I think that we're heading in the right direction. There's been definitely a pause. Rates kind of dropped. I know that, you sent out your report on Friday. They went right back up, which was kind of, I think, expected in some degree. I mean, I know that a lot of the pricing was kind of built in previously for this expectation of what the Fed was going to do. And obviously having a positive jobs report is definitely a good thing. It helps, but I think that 2025 is going to be a massive year for Las Vegas. We are not slowing down anytime soon. No. We have what's
high
that?
Five.
Oh, high five. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad because, we have the stadium coming for the A's. We have Oak Group that's working on building a $1 billion basketball stadium here. We have the train finally, finally in somewhat of a works, and we still have
Hollywood.
In Hollywood.
Robert's
we have that 100%. Yeah. Mark, Wahlberg coming here and bringing in Hollywood 2.0. I just saw, there's still, somewhere around 4,000 people moving here every month. And we have a shortage on homes. We have a shortage on new builds. Our new builds have come down. And so, I would love to see BLM get together and release some land because I think that's what's needed.
I would like them to release
there's been a
the
stronghold
of random land that's in between that needs to be developed because I'm like, fill it out a little bit,
and we need to get more housing built. We need to get more housing out here. I think it's, I saw a thing a few months ago from Inman that there's like 6 or 7 million buyers sitting on the sidelines, kind of waiting to see what happens. And, those people aren't going to stop. They're going to come when the time is right, and I think it's just going to, Vegas is, I mean, we're at the very tip of the iceberg on what our
It's
growth
so
has been.
set up.
And,
Yeah.
you know, and I just don't see it slowing down anytime soon. I mean, even if there was some sort of recession, you know, or whatever the case, I just don't think we're going to see too much of that effect here. It might be a little, you know, dribble of it, but we're
set
growing,
up.
we're set up, we're doing great.
All right, Sheila, take it
I
home.
think we're kind of in the same. I think I agree.
And why would buyers? Why is it a good time for buyers to potentially buy before the end of the year?
Because there's gonna be a ton of competition. Marry the house, not the interest rate. I don't. There's this
Awesome.
meme,
Yep.
right? Going, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, there's this whole meme going around social media right now, and it says, "All I want for Christmas is for the market to crash and be able to buy a house for $3.50." I hate to tell everybody, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Like, it's not gonna happen. There's too many people moving here from California that have the cash from their completely overpriced home, old overpriced homes there. Sorry, California, not a fan. But I don't think it's slowing down. We have too much growth, almost to the point it's annoying, because trying to figure out a route to get my son to school is nearly impossible at this point.
Exit out of our neighborhood.
Whoever is planning
Road
the road construction, can we have one clear path? Just one. Like every single road has it. So that part's annoying, but I don't think it's slowing down. I think that rates may come down. I think even if house prices did, it's not going to be some drastic drop off like we've seen before. I think full steam ahead.
So
I think it's better. I mean, listen, you can always refi. I'm not one to say refi 5 years from now. Do it sooner. You know, if your situation within your home isn't going to change immediately after, you know, everybody buys a house and quits their job or some crazy thing. But, you know, if that's not changing, then I would say marry the house, find it. There's a lot less competition right now.
And it's interesting when the rates did do that little dip.
There was already.
Oh, those couple weeks.
Oh my gosh, I was like,
The phone was ringing. The phone was ringing.
It was interesting. So,
yeah.
And I think the rates will come down.
So I was just going to ask, where do you see the rates going? You think they're going to come down?
Yeah, I think they'll. You know, right now, I'm not a huge believer in some of the BLS jobs reports that have been coming out because they've adjusted them tremendously.
Yeah.
This one that came out was very strong, so it surprised a lot of people. And so I think it's just a matter of time before it kind of settles back down. And you know, we want a decent economy, but the rates are too high.
They are.
I mean, they're actually manageable if you look at the
spread. I mean, you look
from the standpoint of like years and years and years.
Oh yeah.
But from what's going on in the economy right now, they should be at least 1%.
I think that they're too high for what people can afford right now, right? Like years ago when they're like, my parents had a 13% interest rate. Well, that's great. Milk was also 20 cents, you know? Right now, we are just being priced, I think, out of it. I think everybody feels that a little bit right now. Like everybody, it doesn't matter if you can afford the groceries or not. It kind of ticks you off that you're paying $8 for eggs. So I think, 2025, I think there'll be a shift.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And join us next time on Las Vegas Pitch. This is Gaylord out. We'll see you next